A man was lying in the hospital on his deathbed, with his 2 sons, a daughter, his wife, and a nurse standing by his side. Turning to his family, the man said, "Peter, my eldest son, I leave you the villa in Beverly Hills. Samantha, my beautiful daughter, I leave you the apartment at Los Angeles Plaza. Charlie, my youngest son," he gazed proudly at his youngest, "I see a bright future for you, so I leave you the office in downtown." Then the man turned to his wife and said tenderly, "My beloved wife, the 3 residential buildings in downtown are all yours." The nurse, overhearing this, was amazed by the man's immense wealth. She turned to the wife and said, "Man, your husband must be very wealthy to leave you all such properties." The wife replied, "Wealthy? Are you kidding? He was a milkman. He just left us his milk delivery."
A poor man, after 20 years of hard work and penny pinching, saved up all his savings to build a house. This house represented not only his dream, but also his commitment and hope for his family. They chose a lucky day to move in, and the whole family was filled with anticipation, ready to embrace the beginning of a new life. However, just 2 days before the move, a sudden earthquake caused the new house to collapse. When the man learned that his lifelong dream had turned to dust, his reaction surprised everyone. He went to the market to buy some candies and went straight to the collapsed house. When he arrived, many people had already gathered there, expressing sympathy and concern for him. His new house, which had never been inhabited, had already become ruins. Some people tried to comfort him, but the man took out candies from his pocket and began to distribute them to everyone present. This action surprised everyone. Seeing his behavior, someone couldn't help but ask, "Are you crazy? Your new house has collapsed, and all your life savings have gone up in smoke. Why are you happily distributing candies here?" The man smiled and replied, "You only see the negative side of this matter, so you can't see the positive side. Today, it's fortunate that the house collapsed, because if it had collapsed after we moved in, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Our whole family might have died, and such a loss would be truly immense. So whatever happens, I believe it's for a better outcome."
A woman was diagnosed with a terminal illness. She told her 3-year-old son, "Mommy has to leave for a while to go to heaven and become a goddess during this time. It will be a test to see if you are strong. If you are as strong as Daddy, Mommy will come back in a different form to be with you." Her son, with a naive look, said, "If you change your appearance, how will I know it's you?" She replied, "That's simple. One day, when Daddy asks you to call someone Mommy, that will be me." That night, the woman passed away peacefully. When the child was 5, his father brought home a woman and asked him to call her Mommy. The child happily ran over and hugged the woman, saying, "Mommy, you're finally back." He also mentioned the test from before. The woman, overwhelmed with emotion, cried and said, "Yes, Mommy is back and will never leave you again." In certain situations, benevolent lies are necessary. They can protect our loved ones from harm and give them hope and courage to face the difficulties and challenges in life. A man had a lovely daughter, and he doted on her deeply because she was the only family he had in the world. One day, his daughter fell ill. He was so anxious that he immediately took her to see a doctor. However, the doctor told him that with the current level of medical technology, it was impossible to cure her illness. The man broke down in tears upon hearing this, but he did not give up. Instead, he took his daughter to seek medical help everywhere. Nevertheless, all his efforts were futile, and the little girl eventually passed away due to her illness. Since then, the father had become a changed man. He locked himself in his room and lived in sorrow every day. He drank heavily all day and refused any concern from his friends. One night, he had a dream. In the dream, he went to heaven and witnessed a grand celebration of little angels. The angels formed a line and passed by a large white throne. Each of them held a candle in their hands. He noticed that one little angel's candle was not lit. Curious, he walked closer and found that the little angel was actually his daughter. Tears streamed down his face as he excitedly hugged her and looked at her tenderly. He asked, "Baby, why is only your candle not lit?" She replied, "Daddy, they often try to relight my candle, but your tears always put it out." At that moment, he woke up with a start, and his eyes were blurred with tears. But the dream also taught him a lesson. From then on, he no longer indulged in negativity but faced life positively. His friends were happy to see him emerge from despair, and from then on, his daughter's candle was never extinguished by his tears again.